Hello, you hardcore boxing fans out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Porkys Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dares say. First of all, I just want to say a big shout out to Racers Now YouTube channel. That's Smido, who came on earlier today. So good luck to Smido with his channel. And big shout out to Porkys International YouTube. That's our sister channel. We're just waiting for Jake to honour us with his presence. He should be here any second, and job's a good one. So I don't know where he's at, but hey ho. Worked hard this week, so it's Friday, 6 o'clock. I think I'll have a Guinness or something. It's got iron in it, hasn't it, Guinness? Doctor says, you're low on iron, Russell. I said, well, I can't iron. So I think that's well deserved. I'm not going to get a glass and put blackcurrant in it, like Peter Fury does, because I don't know, I think I've gone off that now, but I'm just going to have it raw. But it's a nice drink. It's good for you, apparently. They used to give you this in Armley Prison, you know, back in the day, in late 80s. You could have one a night if you were on remand, because you were still classed as a innocent person, weren't you, on remand? So, okie dokie. Well, my phone is. Lots to get through. We've got James coming on tonight. He used to work with Steve Wood. And we've got a new guy, a newbie. At 10 o'clock, he's called Damien. Here's Jake. Women love him, men want to be him. How you doing, Jake?
How's it going, folks? Good.
I'm all right. What have you been up to?
Just working, sorting out a few other things, man. Busy. But Friday.
Yeah. What are you doing? Cruising about your area?
No. Just went to the shop. Just thought let me quickly go shop before I catch you.
All right. A lot to get through then. Joshua, what do you think?
I hold my hands up. I was wrong. Credit to Daniel. That's all I can say. Credit to Daniel. I didn't see it coming. I couldn't say I'm surprised. I knew that was a chance he could lose, but I genuinely thought the form Josh has been on, he would win. But I didn't expect him to lose like that. He didn't win a round, second of a round. So yeah, it's a big shock.
You know, when you're going about the form Joshua's in, Jake, where are you coming from with that, mate? It's just four guys before.
When I mean, I don't mean opponents. I mean his confidence. He's the way he was. Yeah, I don't mean forming, because if you compare their opponents, their last five, Daniels it's night and day. Daniels has been in the more competitive fights, but Joshua's confidence, I thought he would put up a better performance than that. He shocked me. That he looked walk into the ring, he looked like he didn't want to be there. Like he didn't want to be.
Okay, when you look at them guys, Franklin, Elenius, Wallin, and Ngannou, would they even be employed as sparring partners for Joshua? Well, two of them have been. And Ngannou, in his second fight, he could probably not even get a job as a sparring partner with Joshua back in the day. And Franklin, he'd probably be a sparring partner. So if you're fighting sparring partner type guys, how can you keep your tools sharp? That's my opinion.
Well, I've heard from a few people that for his confidence, there were certain those fights and certain sparring partners they've kept at a certain level to build his confidence in the gym. Because if I couldn't believe it, for the Usyk second fight, he had Wadi Camacho as a sparring partner. I know he's a southpaw, but when I heard that, I was like, who's in charge of his camp? Because that's silly. Wadi Camacho as a sparring partner for Usyk. When I heard that, I was like, yeah, his confidence must be low for him to be having to get those sparring partners in. So I think from a while ago now, he's had average sparring partners, which is never good to prepare for a big fight.
Wadi Camacho's been retired donkey's years.
Yeah.
So it's no wonder Usyk flogged him. But so, to be fair, Southpaw sparring is really hard to get.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Jake, I'll throw a curveball at you here. What do you think to the rematch nonsense? It's on, it's off. Is there a rematch? Is there a rematch? Isn't there? What do you think about all that? And should there be one?
Um, I think it's going to be the way is. I think there might potentially be one, but I think it's going to be put to Daniel in the terms of where the most money is. I think the most money for Daniel is going to be the rematch because the undisputed, from what I'm hearing, there's not really much money. It's not going to sell, even though it's wrong. Daniel should get his shot, in my opinion, straight away at the winner. But the fact he's not even getting spoke about in the same breath as to fight the winner in December, from what Eddie Hearn said, he's saying Joshua needs to wait and see what happens with that one. But Daniel should be in line to fight the winner. But I think they're going to try and squeeze either the Fury Joshua fight next if Fury loses, or they're going to try and do they're going to make the Daniel rematch. I think they'll end up having to make it because where else he's got to go? Where else is Joshua going to go? Because if he's not going to take a rematch at this stage, that means he's not confident to beat him. Which, if you can't beat Daniel DeBar, you can't be talking about undisputed Fury Usyk. So he's got nowhere else to really go. I would take the rematch if I was him. It will be a big fight. I think it will sell. But for Daniel, as a champion, he shouldn't be having to fight him again. Shouldn't be having to fight him again.
2 seconds. I'm going to shut these blinds a bit because it's getting a bit sunny. You know what you mentioned there, Jake, about this undisputed chat and all that, right? I mean, do you know these promoters and these fighters? Everybody has a slogan, don't they? We remember Audley Harrison's slogan, don't we? When he was fighting Davey Day, yes, I can, because everybody said, "Oh, you can't beat Davey Day," and he would go, "Yes, I can." And we have people like Tunde Ajayi, dream it, believe it, become it, you know, and lion bars in the fridge and all that. So no, it's lions in the camp. So not lion bars in the fridge. That's Dave Allen, isn't it? Lion bars in the fridge. No, point I want to make is Joshua's were all roads lead to undisputed. Be humble, stay hungry, all that rubbish. But he's not been hungry for ages. He doesn't even do his road work. Stay hungry. Well, what's it? Who's he think he is? Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's got that off that film, Stay Hungry and all that. And all roads lead to undisputed. He's never had an undisputed fight. He was offered one with Wilder, and he was offered one when Fury had belts, and he's never had an undisputed fight. So people buy into all this, don't they? And Frank Smith's still coming out talking about he can be a three-time world champion, and all roads lead to undisputed. Can everybody just stop buying into this rubbish? Because I'm banging my head against a brick wall. And I think people are starting to realise what I've been going on about now. I started this channel a few months after Klitschko and Joshua mainly because of the rubbish that were coming out of their mouths, because you could clearly see they weren't going to go nowhere near Wilder after spouting all that, after Vladimir dropped him. But I just think people need to stop believing anything that they say, that from that Essex lot. Because what they've got now is a guy who can't pull the trigger. He's frightened to let his hands go because something's coming back. Because once you upgrade and you start, once you start fighting better opposition and you let your hands go, you get it back, don't you? It's all right fighting your Gary Cornishes, Eric Molinas, Povetkin, Pulevs, and old men like that. Vladimir didn't have enough left in the tank to see him off, but he nearly did. So they've wrapped him in cotton wool, but people need to just stop buying into this rubbish about him. So I started this channel a few months after Vladimir got beat by Joshua because I knew they weren't going to fight Wilder. But I just wonder what you thought about all that.
Well, it's funny you say that, Russ, because I heard him trying to call out Wilder now when he's shot to pieces. And it's like, come on, Wilder now. We went that fight how long ago? And Wilder, he come out with a 50 million offer, whoever was right or wrong. That fight should have been made ages ago, like you said, when they flew Wilder over. I remember you used to say it all the time. But for them to be calling out Wilder now off of his last two, I think that's kind of like, come on. You want Wilder now off the back of you? Come on. Like, nah.
The names in the mix, Jake, for what we're seeing, because what they do match them. They drop little names here and there to see what the fans think on social media, or what the algorithms do with them and all that. If it gets any traction. These are the names that they're dropping. They've dropped the rematch. It's classic matchroom, this. I study the game, don't I? They've already dropped the rematch clause. And everybody, like me and everybody else, poo-pooed it, didn't they? Went, no, don't need a rematch. You what? Lost every second of every round, dropped in every round, wasn't he? Right?
Mm.
So, now we're not having that. So Eddie's had to retreat on that. Now they're dropping Jarrell Miller. He's getting airtime on IFL. What will happen is these people get airtime on these little channels. They're dropping Dylan White, Jarrell Miller. I've even heard Chisora's name in mix here.
Wow.
Chisora's name in mix. They're mates, aren't they? Ergovic and Yui Fury, they've dropped all these names just to see what the reaction is. Do you know what I mean? But
Who do you think they're gonna pick, Pork? Who do you think he's gonna go?
I think they'll go at rematch me because they'll look at it like, well, they got a punch in round 5 and they're still in it. If he fights Jabbar again, they've still got that little bit of glimmer of hope. It's very, very tiny, but they've still got a glimmer of hope, haven't they? Of a lucky punch or him having a turning up and having a great night and Jabbar having an off night. They've still got that little tiny, tiny glimmer. And they don't really care for Joshua now. They care for that. But the horse has been bolted that long now with him shot to bits and finished and fragile, Humpty Dumpty, put him together again, broken up and all that nonsense, that they're just going to keep him earning now. He's always going to earn because he's got these mongs, and I mean utter mongs who follow him. The mongs, mate. He's not even a pay-per-view fighter now, but because of the commercial draw and how he looks and how he comes over as Mr. Commercial, and he went to ring, shitting his pants. He came out at ring doing selfies and he's just been knocked about. The man's been on floor 12 times, hasn't he, in his career as a pro, and God knows how many times in sparring. We know about Lawrence Okoli, David Price, and other kid. Daniel Dubois dropping him, don't we, in sparring. Dylan White dropped him in amateurs, or had it, he had a count, didn't he, against him. So he's held together by paper mache, mate. They're just going to wheel him out. They're just going to keep wheeling him out. He'll always be wheeled out because he's got that fan base, hasn't he? And people are going to want to bash up on him. He'll be fighting when he's got about 10 losses like Roy Jones. Watch it unfold and don't say I didn't warn you.
Porky, who did you have for the fight? I didn't actually get your prediction. I don't think.
What did you? I had Zabar, Terry Chappendama. Go watch it back. Terry Chappendama had Joshua. Everybody went for Joshua on experience. Duke McKenzie didn't. Duke McKenzie gets them all right, Duke McKenzie didn't.
He's very knowledgeable. He's very knowledgeable. He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff.
McKenzie came out on TalkSport and he had a lot of shit from it, from all that shower at Essex. But he's got a bit of integrity, hasn't he, Duke McKenzie? He's not bothered about that lot. He gave his opinion, just like I did. I said Jabbar beats him because he's in a better run of form, fighting better opponents. Joshua basically has done nothing since Usyk beat him. All he's done is fight sparring partners. You can't get up for fights like that. You've got to be on the edge. Like Frotz. I don't always like to hark back to Carl Frotz, but I do because look at the run of fights that he had. And I said to him once, LBO, so why did you have all those fights? And he said, because I want to keep my tools sharp and set a precedent for next generation. The next generation have not followed what Carl Frotz did. But his tools were always sharp, fighting roadman killer after roadman killer after roadman killer. The only tool that you could throw in there was Yusuf Mack, and he were IBF number 5. So that's not exactly a roadman killer, but it's not as stiff. And Glenn Johnson, he couldn't get out of that fight because he were in Super 6. All the rest were roadmen. Go and look. Roadmen. Joshua's not... how many roadmen has he fought on the trot? What victory has he got over a roadman? Tell me. Nobody can tell me one. They keep saying Vladimir. He was 42-year-old a couple of months later, 18-month on settee. Where's the roadman on his CV? There ain't one, Jake, is there? But people buy into it because he looks the part and he's the poster boy. And he says all the right things. He's media trained. Behind the scenes, he's a bullying, sullen thug. That's the bottom line. Sorry about the rant. Right though, Jake, innit? Everybody bought into it. I didn't buy into it. Smido didn't buy into it. Terry Chappendama, Rico, all them, Julian. Nobody bought into it. Them Asylum lads didn't buy into it. Nobody bought into it, mate. Only that lot. Trying to reinvent the fucking wheel, mate. That's what they tried to do. I've stuck to my guns, mate, from day one. I saw what he were about in that Olympics, mate. I saw what he were about. Big shivering. That's what he were, mate, in them Olympics. He had 3 gifts out of the 4 fights. He only beat the Chinaman. He only beat that Zhang. All them others, if you go watch them, go and watch. Everybody, go and watch the Olympics. He was gifted 3 decisions out of 4. Oh, shocking, mate. Shocking. But everybody fell for it. But he's had $250 million out of the job, hasn't he? He's had it off, hasn't he? They've had it off. Eddie Hills, if he's on 20%, he's had 50 million out of the job. 50 mil? What's that? 100 grand a week for 10 years he's had out of the job. Come on, they've had it off, mate. They've reversed the wagon round to the bank and had it off with money in a low loader. Them lot at Matchroom, they're laughing their heads off. And they're still laughing now. They're still trying to sell a car that's been rolled down a banking. They're still trying to sell it as an Alan Minter. Do you know what I mean? Sends me head mad, Jake. It drives me crazy that people can be so fooled by this rubbish. They did it with Callum Smith, didn't they, to us? Look at all the rubbish we were fed about him. Callum Smith, come on. Look what rubbish they told us about him.
Yeah, I saw highlights of his fight with Better BF today, funnily enough.
What's his best win? What's his best win?
Rocky Field. I don't even.
Rocky Fielding, George Groves. A one-armed bandit, George Groves, after Frotchin wrote him off and Badou Jack set about him. George Groves. Is that his best win? They put him in that ring, George Groves, with one arm.
Yeah.
That's Callum Smith's best win. We were told they were going to go through the division, wasn't he? He were going to go through the division. George Groves. We're going to, Callum Smith, Mundo Smith. We're going to run through the division and then go through other divisions and go up to heavyweight by Eddie Hills. We were told on IFL, it's there. I've just watched it today. Go and look. And we're like, what? Nobody were buying that. I've seen him spar the Cobra at Sheffield. Oh my God. They were coming in rotation. Him, John, Alan Green, all of them. Bob Ashley saved a lot, mate. They were running through a lot of them. Frotchin sparring, running through them all. They were all bigger men. Bellew, Pascal, a lot of them. He sparred all of them, mate. I knew where he was heading. Joe Gallagher had to protect Callum Smith. They managed to get him into that tournament, and when he won a world title, he wasn't nothing to do with Eddie Hills. Eddie couldn't deliver for Callum Smith. Joe Gallagher got him in that tournament, and did you see the run of fights in that tournament? A lot of them gifts. Absolute gifts.
It was a poor run.
Those had him rocked, mate, with one arm. Load of rubbish. They've sold us a load of crap because they've got manipulation of the media. And these YouTubers, they're not going to pull them up on this, are they? Why? Because they want fucking access. They want to get Eddie sat down, Joshua, and the rest of them. They'll be picking up £1,000 minimum for a big interview with them. That's what it is, mate. I know what these YouTube channels get. I know what they earn, mate. I know what they get per video on average because I work it out with mine. Trust me, mate. They're not going to want to lose that. Kugan Cassius has got a property portfolio off at back of this lot. He's not going to have his little boat rocked, is he? Hey? Of course he's not, is he? Do you see where I'm coming from now, don't you? It's about money. That's what it's about, mate. Money. That's all. But nobody's saying a fucking word, are they? They're just pulling wool about fans' eyes. Is Joshua a pay-per-view fighter now, yes or no?
Nah, I don't think so.
No, but they're not going to put it. He's always going to be pay-per-view because of his name, innit? But is he pay-per-view as in ability and what he can do with his fists? No, he's a shot fighter masquerading as a pay-per-view fighter. That's what you're going to get now. If you want to see Joshua, you're going to go on pay-per-view, aren't you now? Even though he's shot to bits, they'll be wheeling him out with 10 losses on pay-per-view. Watch it unfold. Remember, you heard it here first. But none of these lot are going to ask a fucking question, mate. None of them. All they're going to do, anybody who asks a question, they're going to try and cut the legs off. That's what they're going to try and do, like they've done with me. I try and cut mine off every single day, but I'm all right, aren't I? But the rest of them, they're not going to ask, are they? Or you get your press pass took, like Seconds Out lost theirs, didn't they? You know what I mean? But a couple of days after the show, Danny Flexen were interviewing Bricktop. How can that be? Why would you want to interview somebody who had your press pass stopped? Why? Why would you do that? Why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is, isn't it? Right. What do you think to Derek Chisora and Dillian Whyte talking about having a trilogy? Would you pay for that, Jake?
Pay. I'll watch it. I want to pay. Definitely not pay. The first fight was I think Chisora won the first fight as well, by the way. I think Dillian Whyte got gifted that one. But I'll watch it. I'll watch it on the undercard or something. But yeah, it's definitely not pay-per-view. But yeah, where else did they go? Dillian Whyte's not got. He looks like he's begging for a fight with everyone at the moment. But yeah, I'd watch it. But as far as paying, no, definitely not paying for that.
Dillian Whyte's 40. Sorry, Derek Chisora's 41 in November. Derek Chisora.
Yeah,
So
41.
he's not going to fight this year. Derek Chisora will be fighting after Christmas in 2025. So he'll be entering his 42nd year. Derek Chisora. He's got 13 losses. Should be about 15 or 16 really. He's had a few gifts. He got a gift against Poole left, didn't he? Point I want to make is he'll be entering his 42nd year, Derek Chisora. And people are still wheeling him out. Wheeling him out, mate. How can that be? What about the next generation of heavyweights? Are they going to get a chance? That's all I'm asking. Are they going to get a chance?
Yeah, you got to blame the promoters. The promoters are letting him on the shows. So.
Well, if Dylan White ends up, if Derek Chisora, Del Boy, if he ends up on slab, who we're going to blame? Because he'll have signed a form before he gets in that ring to say, I'm fit to fight. So once he signs that, nobody's going to prison. They can all play blame game and they'll all be upset. Touch wood, it don't happen. Everybody will be upset and they'll have a whip round for him and he'll be all over newspapers and internet for a couple of weeks. And that'll be it then. He'll be forgotten, just like everybody else. Like that kid who died on that show in New York, on Eddie Hills's show. There were a lot of tears about that, weren't there? Now, recently, it was his anniversary of him dying. You know, note on their social medias, were there? Why? Died on their show, didn't he? Look, you've soon forgotten in this sport, right? Derek Chisora has been knocked about, hasn't he? Right? He was fortunate to get 3 fights with Fury. One, he shouldn't have had the second one. He might third one, but what if he gets in with somebody who can punch like Wilder or Joshua or I don't know who's to say that they can't put him in with Dubois. Derek Chisora is ranked number 10 by IBF. Daniel Dubois is due a voluntary, right? If Bricktop wants, he can put Derek Chisora in with Daniel Dubois and Derek can get revenge for his chum, Big Meech, Anthony Joshua. What would you think to that if they put Chisora in with Dubois? What would you say to that?
Oh, I don't even know. That's a curveball because I didn't even think that could actually happen as well.
Of course he can. He's ranked number 10. You go through the top. You go from 1 to 15 and you go down and say, well, should we get here out of these 15? You can pick anybody. If they pick Chisora, it's within the rules.
Yeah, I did see that Dubois due a voluntary now. So, yeah.
You go. Craziness, isn't it? It's the craziness. Absolute. Smido, you're right. It's craziness, kid. Absolute craziness. But when Fury fought Derek Chisora, everybody had a little bit of a moan. Talksport had a moan, but they still sold it out, didn't they? And he got knocked about, didn't he? He's got miles on clock, that kid Chisora. And you know what? He might be a jovial guy, but after listening to Don Charles, what he had to say about him, he's not a nice guy, is he really? He's a bit of a sullen bully, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Did you see Don Charles's interview?
Yeah, about not getting paid, something about not getting paid and something like that. It's like, yeah, this is the stuff you don't hear about in boxing. That's just.
I've heard stories like that every single day for 6.5 years. You know, with Big Ron, I used to hear it all the time. Even worse than that, Listen, boxing is the wild, wild west. People don't get paid, but if you go to board complaining, you get called a grass. And then what happens is the promoters freeze you out. So you can't win either way if you're a fighter. And as for Christopher Eubank going on about Bricktop, well, listen, Curtis Woodhouse has got a cheque framed on wall in his house for £15,000. The third cheque that Bricktop bounced. Isn't that right? Bricktop. Sue me, Bricktop. And what I'll do, I'll go around to Curtis Woodhouse's house in Driftfield and I'll take a picture of that picture frame on his wall with a cheque from you for 15 bags that bounced. The third one. So don't make out that you're Mr. Squeaky. All right? Bricktop. Or I'll go online and I'll type in Joe Calzaghe versus Frank Warren court case. And what does it say? Calzaghe awarded 1.8 million. Within 48 hours, Sports Network were folded. Calzaghe still had a bean to this day. Sue me, Bricktop. Sue me. So don't make out your squeaky clean. All right, everything's within the rules, of course, isn't it? They know what they're doing, don't they? But Chris Eubank Jr. was in order to say what he said. Like I've just said there, sue me. All right, come and sue me. Nobody dare say a word, dare they? I could tell you horror stories 10 times a lot worse than that. But we'll save them for now. We'll see what they come back with. All right. So, what do you think to the actual show as a whole on the night? What do you think to Better Beeve against Hutchinson?
You mean
Hutchinson? It's probably not. It's not Better Boatsy against Hutchinson.
Yeah, I think that Hutchinson guy is a good fighter. He throws shots from quite difficult angles. He's a quite a good boxer, but I just feel like he didn't have the power to keep Boatsy off. But he definitely won some rounds. But I don't agree with the scorecard of him. That was really dodgy. The 113 one thingy scorecard what was on there. Boatsy won clearly for me, but it was Hutchinson didn't win the fight.
Yeah,
but the scorecard was dodgy, I think.
Well, the referee, right, on the night, I mean, he was down twice when he had a point took off him, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's actually, thank you for reminding me. The points taken off as well. How could he win the fight with two? Yeah, the point. It didn't make any sense at all. That scorecard was.
When you look at it, Jake, right, we've got a judge, right, who's give that scorecard to Willie Hutchinson. Don't forget Willie Hutchinson. He's a Bricktop fighter. And you've got the other two judges. That judge was 10 rounds out from the other judge in a 12-round fight. Now, that is the most. I know it weren't a world title fight. It was an interim fight. But these belts will be scattered, won't they, after October 12th? Point I want to make is this. That was the worst ever, going back 20 years in a WBO fight. Worst ever margin between one judge to another. 10 rounds out in a 12-round fight. How can that be? How can that be? I can't get my head around that. If that isn't enough for there to be an inquiry into judging, what does it need to be? We've got a judge sat around the ring with two other judges, and he's got a fight. He's 10 rounds apart from the other ones. Well, 10 rounds apart from one of them. Help me out here, Jake, because I think I'm having a breakdown.
And you know the funny thing is, Ross, as well, people will look back and say, oh, Boatsy still got the decision. But if you look back in the history books and see split decision, you're going to think that's a close fight unless you go and watch it, where it was a complete one-sided fight where, like I said, Hutchinson had parts where he done well. But to say that he won that fight, especially with the deductions, is and that judge needs looking into. But obviously he won't. He'll be on another show again. But no one really spoke about it too. I think Ben Shalom mentioned it.
Nobody dare speak about it.
No one.
Nobody dare say a fucking word. 10 rounds out in a 12-round fight? What? What were they watching? What? I thought the Manny Pacquiao Tim Bradley one were bad. I thought Robin Reed, Spenotka, Macklin against Sturm. What's the other kid over there? Martin Murray against Martinez. I thought they were bad, but 10 rounds out in a 12-rounder. What? He's gone the opposite, more or less, hasn't he?
I saw the fear in Barazzi's face when they read out that scorecard. You know, I saw the fear.
Craziness, mate. It's craziness, and it's gone under the radar. It's gone under the radar because of Dubois' performance. It dug him out of jail. I haven't forgot that. What?
Crazy.
What about the Josh Kelly fight? I mean,
I didn't catch that fight. I caught the last couple rounds, but from what I'm hearing, that was the scorecards are crazy on that as well. But I didn't watch the whole fight, so I can't really say. But I did hear bad. I heard that the scoring was bad on that as well.
craziness, mate. Absolute craziness. But hey ho. We saw what Eubank said. He called certain people scumbags within, what was it, 14, 15 hours or something. The apologies were sent from Eubank to them. And Bricktop were also, everybody was sending apologies, and everybody having a reach around, weren't they? Since when have you ever known that lot? Especially Bricktop. When has he ever folded like that over something like that? When? They don't, do they, mate? They're being told, aren't they? We can see what's going on, can't we?
Yeah, the statements after yeah.
He's obviously got their heads together and banged them and said, right, you sort this out. We don't want this. Do you know?
Yeah, and they took the picture together all after the next day as well.
Listen, mate, it's shocking. Bombay Dave, we know who he is, don't we?
Yeah.
Dave Caldwell. He's come out and he's mentioned what he's mentioned about boxer size Ben Davidson. What do you make about all this criticism? Because Bombay Dave, let's have it right. When he had David Price, we know what happened, don't we? When he had David Price, he got flogged, didn't he? Right. And Bombay Dave took his 15 grand on that night, didn't you, Bombay Dave? David Price got flogged and you took 15 bags off him. Good old mate you are, aren't you? Well, Bombay Dave said what he said about boxer size Ben. Shane McGuigan said what he said. Do you think that might be a bit of sour grapes from Shane McGuigan because he wasn't involved? Because he had DeBar, didn't he, at one point?
Yeah, I know he had.
We called it right, Shane McGuigan. So now all of a sudden he's out there as this like expert, isn't he? Obviously he's an emerging trainer, as Bean says. Emerging trainer, Blue Ribbon Division, gives it all that. But Shane ain't really got an heavyweight at the moment, has he? So he's heavyweight mix. But what do you make of Ben Davidson's performance and that? And people saying that he jumped into the ring like a bit of a fairy and blah blah blah. What do you make of it all?
I more don't like his comments when he said what was the comment he said just can't remember the exact words he said.
Go on, yeah. Go on, keep going.
Yeah, he said I think Joshua was on the back foot and I think he was under pressure and I think he said something like just go for it lion's heart or something like that, some comment like that, and I just thought to myself, where's the tactics or the calming instructions in this time of need? Why would you just say him to send him out to say lion's heart and all this sort of stuff? It sounded like he didn't have no plan B, no nothing, and he just said, just literally just going with the flow, no instructions, no clear instructions to Joshua, just go out there and save yourself.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Well, we're going to see what happens down the line, but people are saying that he's already collected his cards and is down the road. That's the word around the campfire. Boxer size Ben. So, do you see that?
Nah, I think I see it the other way. I think Joshua will stick with him.
Yeah.
I think the amount of trainers Josh has changed now. I think to change again now. I think he's just got to stick with Ben now. I think he will just stick with Ben. And
Right, then, well, let's say he sticks with Ben and he gets beat again. Will he be able to sleep at night?
he'll just cash out and just say it's not meant. Styles make fights or whatever excuse he'll come up with, and he'll just try and go for the Fury fight. And yeah, I think that's how it go.
What do you think about Eddie? Eddie coming out saying it's probably going to be Devon next and then Fury. What do you think to that? Do you think that's a bit of wishful thinking? And will it be Fury coming off another loss to Usyk against Joshua, coming off another loss to the bar. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see why Eddie, because Eddie Hearn said on the other day, he said he told Joshua he's got 1 to 3 fights left. So I think Eddie's just looking at the biggest money fights for Joshua now and to cash out, I think.
They said that 2 years ago, didn't they, after Usyk? So they got 1 or 2 fights left. There's always one more, isn't there? One more. There's always Mr. 20% of 20 million, isn't there? I mean, don't forget Eddie Hearn, what were he on? 5 million the other night. £5 million. He's cut. He didn't have to get it ring, did he?
Yeah, I didn't know it was that much. But yeah.
It's not bad, is it? That's you're not getting it ring, is it? Some fighters don't get that for getting it ring. Some world champions, heavyweight champions have not got that, have they, for getting it ring? So look, he'll be punching for pay till he's talking like Scooby-Doo. I can assure you. Do you want to go to part 2, kid?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. I think what we'll have to do, we'll have to get in close on part 2 and we'll have to let rip. What do you think about that brick top? What do you think, brick top? Hey, think you can silence me? Nah, you're not got a chance, kid. Not on your Nelly. Just so you know. All right. I can't be bought and I can't be smoothed over. I can't be. We'll smooth it. We'll throw him a bone. Not on your Nelly Patelli. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. And don't forget our sister channel, Porkys International. That's on YouTube as well. Don't forget to give Racers Now YouTuber a shout out. All right. Or go and have a look at it. That's Smido's channel. It's about horse racing. All right. We can't beat a bit of horse racing, can we? Pop, pop, bang. Big shout out to Frank from Bury. Hope you're well, Frank. I've just been looking at Tom Aspinall giving a dead leg to Tommy Superman Fury. Hey,